We know the numbers. I can tell you 5,000 people are homeless. I can't tell you very much about why most of those people are homeless and what kind of supports they really need to enter into a housing situation.
It's an example of Toronto's ever-growing homeless problem. A tent city that was under the Gardiner, cleared out a month ago by the City of Toronto, has its old residents back again just a month later, prompting the city to issue another notice of clearance. Now, advocates for the homeless say it's just further proof that it's time to rethink the way we address homelessness in this city.
I think it speaks to the fact that we just don't have enough housing, deeply affordable housing for people, or appropriate shelter spaces for people to come in out of the outside.
Kira Heineck of the Toronto Alliance to End Homelessness says she's not surprised those who are forced out of these makeshift homes under the Gardiner have come back just 1 month later.
I do know, though, that the city works very hard to find alternative proper housing for folks in these situations.
While the city did provide outreach workers to help those calling this patch of land home find alternate accommodations last month, Heineck says getting them into an emergency shelter is only the first step. She says there needs to be more focus on addressing the root causes of homelessness in order to keep people permanently housed.
What is driving each individual's reason for being there, and how can we better serve them and support them to come into long-term housing?
She says that's the question that needs to be prioritized when a homeless person enters a shelter. It's something her working group is pushing the city on as they try to come up with a new strategy to get people off of Toronto's streets. One of the other challenges she says frontline workers are dealing with is the lack of a centralized system.
Right now we have 3 or 4 different systems that collect data or collect information about people and the types of housing they need. Those systems don't talk to each other, and they don't in turn talk to the systems that collect information on what kind of housing is available. So often people get mismatched.
And that could mean ending up right back here. The group is also suggesting priority-based placements instead of the first-come, first-served system shelters currently use. Heineck says it's a model that's been successful in other cities like Hamilton, which was able to reduce homelessness by 25% just last year.
I certainly think that we need to rethink how we are addressing homelessness in the city. We've been grappling with this issue for decades now, and it isn't getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse. We have 5,000 people tonight who are homeless. About 500 of them are sleeping rough.
Now, the city tells us they had planned to clear out those tents from under the Gardiner last week, but that was postponed. They didn't tell us why. Now, they also say for a more permanent solution to those makeshift houses under the Gardiner, they say that really is up to the city's transportation department as to whether or not they'll put up something like a fence to deter people from moving into that space.